The story of the Bugatti Automobile Company is a century-old saga heavily laden with both spectacular success and profound tragedy. To understand what I am about to say, we need to go back about a century to the basement of a house in Germany. Ettore Bugatti had just completed the construction of his car. Decided to leave and during the next few years in France, decided to make the fastest and most magnificent cars of his time. Despite being one of the best engineers of his era, it all fell apart overnight when he was forced to. This factory later became the Bugatti brand, as big as it is today. So, friends, fasten your seatbelts because we are going on a journey through Bugatti's incredible success and the path of downfall to becoming the biggest luxury hypercar brand. Ettore Bugatti was born on September 15, 1881, in Milan, Italy, into a financially prosperous family. His father, Carlo Bugatti, was a famous international designer of furniture and jewelry in Milan, while his grandfather was a renowned architect and sculptor. Therefore, this passion and talent ran deep in his family, and it was also passed on to Ettore's younger brother, Rembrandt. Rembrandt was 3 years younger than Ettore and was a much better sculptor. Many historians believe that because of Rembrandt's talent, Ettore could not become a sculptor and could not follow in his family's footsteps. His artistic heritage proved useful to him in a completely different way. From a young age, it was clear that Ettore was capable of creating complex designs with intricate training. At the age of 16, Ettore repaired a broken bicycle under his father's supervision. Carlo immediately recognized his son's talent and therefore encouraged him to train at a factory called Printi and Stucchi, which was famous at that time for making sewing machines and bicycles. And he started training at the factory. A year later, at the age of 17, he designed his own motor tricycle to participate in a competition from Paris to Bordeaux. Powered by 2 engines built by de Dion, letting Ettore reduce was a good idea. It opened up a whole new world before Ettore's eyes, a world full of mechanical designs, automobiles, and speed. When he was 19, after learning the intricacies of the business, he left the Printi and Stucchi company and set out to make his own car. Was a perfectionist, and he designed everything himself, from his car's engine to the body parts. Rather, he manufactured all the parts himself. His math was so precise that the designs he created seemed very difficult even to the greatest engineers of his time. His talent finally attracted the attention of the de Dietrich Company, which had factories in France and Germany. Ettore worked there, designing and making cars for the company. Despite his young age, he secured the contract at 19, and since he was a minor, his father had to sign this contract. Because of this, Ettore had to leave Milan and go to the city of Niederbronn in Germany. There, he honed his skills in building automobiles for a few years and even tried to learn more by entering car races. In 1903, he made his second car for the Paris military trials, but this car was so ahead of its time that it wasn't even permitted to race. Ettore placed the driver and the engine both low in the car's chassis because it was better for the car's center of gravity and aerodynamics. However, everyone else found it very strange because at that time, every other car designer believed that this was not the right way. But this notion was soon to be broken when Ettore's seating strategy started proving extremely effective. In 1906, Ettore decided it was the perfect time to leave de Dietrich. At that time, automobiles were made very meticulously by highly skilled craftsmen, so they were very expensive and the machines were used for racing, which was rapidly becoming a popular sport across Europe and America. Ettore met Barbara Mascherpa, who later became his wife, signed a big contract with a gasoline engine manufacturer. During his time, Ettore was making large-scale and heavy engines for the company, which were in demand at that time. But meanwhile, he had also discovered the idea of making his own engines that could completely change the trends of that era. Ettore believed that they could make an engine that would be both small and light, and such a car would perform better than other cars with much larger engines. To do this, he started working on automobiles in the basement of his house, and he named this new car the Type 10. Finally, in 1909, the Bugatti Type 10 was completed. It had a 1.2-liter, 4-cylinder engine that weighed only 365 kilograms. This 2-seater car was capable of reaching a top speed of 80 km/h, which was an incredible achievement at that time. By now, Ettore had decided to quit his job, and he drove his new car to the Alsatian city of Molsheim, where he established his own company, Automobiles Ettore Bugatti. Ettore was one of the first to use racing competitions to demonstrate his car's capabilities. Doing so rapidly increased the popularity of his designed cars, and racing competitions soon became a medium for showcasing the performance of other cars. 1909 was the happiest and most important year of Bugatti's life because this year he completed the Type 10, established the company, and his first son, Jean Bugatti, was born. Despite being brilliant and successful, Ettore decided to make more improvements in car making. After the Type 10 came the Type 13, which became Bugatti's most popular car until then. By adding leaf springs to his old car's rear axle and adopting a multi-valve per cylinder approach, creating a 16-valve cylinder, achieved a respectable second place in the French Grand Prix in 1911, cementing Bugatti's name as one of the best car designs in the world. Bugatti continued to work on other models based on his simple engine design, from Type 13 to Type 23. However, when World War I broke out, the whole world stopped, and with it, Bugatti's car production also stopped. After seeing the war, which lasted for 4 years, Ettore had no choice but to go back to Milan and then to Paris, where he worked with Duchamp brothers between 1915 and 1916, and developed an engine called the U-16. It was basically two straight-line engines sharing a common crankcase, called the Bugatti U-16 aircraft engine, and inspired him to create straight-eight engine designs. After the war ended, he went to Molsheim, which had now become French territory, and he continued the construction of his luxury cars. He experimented by adding multi-valve angles, and the result was unreliable. His new car gave him victory in the 1924 24 Hours of Le Mans. After that, the car achieved 3 more victories in Brescia in 1921, and soon this car came to be known as the Bugatti Type 13 Brescia. The winning streak continued until 1925. The Bugatti Type 13 had recorded over 400 victories. Most Bugattis were made before 1926, which makes it one of the most successful Bugatti cars ever. The Bugatti Type 35, introduced in 1924, was presented at the Grand Prix in Lyon, and his new car soon became Bugatti's most successful racing model, winning over 1,000 races in its lifetime. After experimenting with various models of racing cars, Ettore and his first son, Jean Bugatti, decided to venture into the luxury car business. They started working on new models together, and by 1926, Bugatti's first luxury car, the Type 41 Bugatti Royal, came into existence. At that time, it was the longest and most magnificent car ever made in the world. They selected their clients very meticulously and only allowed kings and elite people to buy the car, which is why the Type 41 soon came to be known as the Bugatti Royale. While on one hand the launch of the Bugatti Royale made Bugatti very famous, America was facing the Great Depression. What impacted the world's economy greatly. The French government approached Bugatti for the design and construction of rail cars, on the verge of the company going bankrupt, and with no other option, he took the contract. He made a truly successful Bugatti rail car for the government, which helped save him and his company from bankruptcy. But a strike occurred at the Bugatti plant. Workers demanded better wages and improved working conditions. This created distrust among the workers, which could not be fully resolved for years. Ettore also found a brilliant successor in his son Jean's talent. Jean was a passionate engineer and was as brilliant as his father. Ettore made Jean in charge of the Bugatti plant, and under Jean's leadership, Bugatti models like the Atlantic, the Majestic, the Royale, and the Type 57 were made. Everything was going well for Bugatti, but it is said that a moment can change your entire life, and the same happened with Ettore. A few months later, Jean Bugatti was road testing a car, as he had done many times before. But suddenly a cyclist emerged from a side street. In an attempt to save the cyclist, Jean swerved the car and crashed into a tree. Jean died on the spot. Hearing this news, Ettore was shattered and tears welled up in his eyes. And now, Ettore had also lost his favorite child. Shortly after, the German army invaded and took control of Bugatti's then plants. Bugatti fled to Paris with his family and worked on aviation engines and torpedoes there. Although Bugatti spent most of his life in France, he was still Italian and never thought of taking French citizenship. The French government did not support him, and because Italy was now under Germany, Ettore was accused of collaborating with the Germans. After the war ended, he was arrested and imprisoned. He made a last attempt and decided to sue the state. But things got even worse when in 1944, Ettore's wife, Barbara, passed away, and he was at the lowest point of his life. Finally, Ettore went to see his ruined factory for the last time. He applied for French citizenship so that his rights could be restored. After that, in 1947, when Ettore was 66 years old, he contracted pneumonia. Meanwhile, his company was auctioned, and Ettore's property was finally returned to him. But this good news came too late for Ettore, because Ettore's mental condition was deteriorating rapidly. Just 10 days after getting the company back, Ettore passed away. His family members were not able to continue manufacturing his cars, and eventually the Bugatti plants had to be closed and were left abandoned for many years. Then in 1987, an Italian businessman named Romano Ardioli bought the company and relaunched the Bugatti brand in the world. 5 years later, an all-new model, the Bugatti EB110, was presented to the world. It was capable of reaching a top speed of 213 miles per hour. But sadly, only 149 of these cars were made. After that, in 1995, due to mismanagement, the company had to be closed. Then comes the year 1998, when Volkswagen acquired the Bugatti brand and once again presented our supercar brand Bugatti to the world. They made a new car. In 2005, the Bugatti Veyron was made, and it became one of the finest cars in the world, breaking world records by becoming the fastest road legal car at that time, capable of reaching a top speed of 254 miles per hour. In 2015, the Bugatti Veyron was replaced by the Bugatti Chiron. In 2019, the company broke records again with its Bugatti Chiron, which was incredibly capable of reaching a new top speed of 305 miles per hour. So, friends, this is the story of Team Bugatti and the dreams of a person who is still alive decades after his tragic death. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching the video, friends. I'll meet you in the next video with another such exciting story.